Swap is real. What I'm about to tell you right now, I am speaking from experience, and please take note. You need to pay attention to people close to you. This can be your family members because they are the one who does the most to you. Family members, your significant other, friends. Pay attention to these people. When I was back home, I was married before. So I remember after our wedding, it was this evening, and people were drinking. I was drinking that time. People were drinking, everybody was drunk, happy, eating and all that. And I remember this family member of mine, she was like, because she was drunk, she was like, my sangoman told me that you are the one who going to take care of the whole family. You're going to be someone tomorrow. But listen, I was just young and naive. I do not take note of this, How did she know that if she wasn't, curious about me, if she does not have, ill intention towards me? I was young and naive. I did not pay attention to it. I did not even believe what she was saying. In West Africa, when you get married, 7 days, 1 week, you're not supposed to go out. You're supposed to make your dinner and bring it inside for 1 week. That's just our tradition for women. So in that 1 week, because after my wedding, I stayed with him. In that 1 week, this woman was cooking for me. Mind you, she's very lazy. She doesn't want to do anything. She just wants people to do everything for her. But that very week, this woman, she said she's going to cook for me. And whatever she put in that food, she got me. She got me. So after this happened, when it was time for, myself and my ex-husband to come to Europe, Ireland, things start happening. We missed our flight twice. We lost our documents. And mind you, we don't have Irish, embassy in Guinea. So all the paperwork we got from Ireland here, we have to, bring everything in Ireland here to finalize and then bring it back home. Do you know how long that's going to take? We lost our documents. We lost everything. We have to start over again. It took us 2 years to make it to Ireland. So when we missed our second flight, I was like, something in me, I was young back then. I was like just a teenager. Something in me said to me, don't visit her anymore. So God helped me that we find a place and we hide. We did not want her to know where we were. So we found a place, we stayed there. We end up staying in that house for 2 years. Let me tell you this. When I tell you I was sick, I'm telling you I was sick. At night, I was hearing things. I was hearing drums, singing, people talking, things like this. And I would be asking my ex, are you hearing what I'm hearing? He was like, no. This month I was going mad. That was how much I was sick. But you see, your enemies will try to stop whatever God has for you. But one thing for sure, it must still come to pass. This happened. So finally we made it to Ireland. When we made it to Ireland, for those of you who don't know, I'm a dancer. I started dancing when I was 10 years old. And when I came here, let me tell you this, I was making money from this. From the first year I came here till the third year, I was making, molo, a real one. Opportunity were coming my way, open doors, things was going up. And when the fourth year hit, that's when everything dropped again. I started fighting with my ex. We did everything we could to save this marriage, but it did not work out. Guess what? Because he is behind it. We were trying to save this marriage, but unfortunately, we had no other choice but to get divorced. 5th year, we got separated. I moved house. I start noticing that things that I was passionate about, such as dancing, involving in communities, working with people, going out, just things that I was very passionate about and have motivation for. I start losing the motivation. I start losing interest in everything. I didn't want to go out. I did not want no one to see me. I did not want to do anything. From morning to night, I just get up in the morning, take shower and sleep. Get up in the morning, take shower and sleep. This has been happening, let me tell you this, over 6 years. I realized that something isn't right. Because when this start happening to me, doors are closed, rejection after rejection. I remember when I was with my ex-husband, he was okay doing everything for me, but when it comes to him helping me to apply for my citizenship, things will start happening. We'll start fighting. It wasn't right. When I apply for a job, I don't get. When I apply for anything, I don't get. Like, doors were closed, they were shut. I tried everything. And because of all these rejections, it ended up killing my motivation for life. Listen to me. This kept happening only a few, let's say 2 years ago. I was like, something is not right. Because even though all this was happening all these years, I stayed that deep down, I knew something wasn't right. You know, God always gonna put it in you that something is not right. Wake up. So 2 years ago, I started noticing that, nah, this is not right. Whenever something good is about to happen in my life, or a blessing is about to come in my life, God is about to bless me, He shows it to me in my dream. And whenever He shows me this blessing He's about to bless me with, I will dream about this woman. The blessing goes to her instead of me. Recently, I think it was like a year or two ago, I would say, I dreamt that I have bought a house, okay? Beautiful house. And I was so happy when I woke up from this dream, because I know whenever you show it in my dream, something big is coming my way. Guess what? Not even a week later, I had a dream of this woman. She took this key from me and she entered in the house. Not even a month, 1 month, these people, they bought a house, a brand new house, 4-bedroom apartment. You need to pay attention to people around you. Listen, I'm speaking from experience, because destiny swap is real. Only recently I start taking my prayer life seriously. And of course, it's going to take time. So to close all the things that have been doing to me, to exchange the destiny again, it's going to take time. But don't you ever mistaken that because they are your family member or your significant other, that they won't do you wrong. They are the one you're supposed to be scared of, because they are the one who does the most to you. Pay attention.
Destiny swapping is very, very real, and it doesn't just happen to celebrities. It can happen to anybody, even you, if you don't know the signs. Save this video because you may need to come back and compare notes. Because these people show up in your life as friends, as supporters, as fans of you. You could be really talented, really smart, really magnetic. People enjoy being around you. People want to celebrate you. If you're working on your goals, if you're on a spiritual journey, you don't even have to see it on you. They see it on you. These people recognize the light within you very early on, and they try to latch themselves onto it. They have a tendency of latching themselves onto you early. Now, destiny swapping happens when people either exchange their path for yours, or they try to intertwine their fate, their destiny with yours. Because they see your greatness, they see your potential, maybe even before you do. And they do this all while trying to downplay your accomplishments, downplay your goals, downplay your impact. They'll be jealous of your accomplishments and still try to either hijack your goals or attach themselves to you. Their aim is to dim your light, the same light that they're attracted to like a moth to a flame. It's parasitic. They try to force this parasitic connection that's just unnatural. You might find yourself missing opportunities, facing unnecessary challenges, doubting yourself. And the signs of destiny swapping can either be subtle or not so subtle. Some come off as really unusual coincidences, and it's really just repeated patterns. But like I said, it's parasitic, so it's going to feel unnatural. They're going to try to attach themselves to you, and it's not going to feel like a natural connection. Also, just be on the lookout for boundary issues. This can look like love bombing you or even mimicking you. I'm not going to be the spiritual friend. Quitting the role of the spiritual friend is giving client, because it's giving client. But that's not all that I am. At the same time, that's not all that I am. But you're kind of going to have to trust your intuition and like how it feels. Now, mind you, this is energetic. It doesn't have to be material at all. This is felt. They recognize this light in you and they really just want to hijack it or take it or attach themselves to it. For example, this guy, this man will recognize the light in a budding artist and try to hijack their fate. And it never feels natural. It never looks natural. But he'll try to hijack their entire persona. So you'll find that they copy you or they emulate you. And when confronted with this, they'll tell you that it's a coincidence. But like I said, it's really unusual coincidences. They do this all while trying to downplay your talents, downplay your impact, downplay everything that makes you you, everything that they're trying to steal. All your energy that they're trying to harvest. And this can be a friend, a peer, a coworker. I can make an entire video on the guy because I've been itching to talk about energy vampires. But let me know if this has happened to you. If you attract jealous people, jealous friends, that they really just want to be near you, but they don't seem to really like you. Let me know down below, and again, save it in case you have to come back. Woo.
Friendship advice from a millennial with no friends: destiny swapping. Destiny swapping is a new term I heard about. Now, I used to always call this, that bitch is trying to be like me. But destiny swapping, I can only speak from a woman's perspective. But I feel like there's 2 to 3 types of friends, right? There's the friend that's the innovator. There's a friend that's a follower. And there's a friend that's neutral, okay? This is my theory, okay? The friend that's an innovator is always pushing the boundaries on what it is for their life to look like, okay? The friend that's neutral, they go throughout life up and down with the waves. They're not really too excited about anything. They're not really pushing any boundaries. They're okay with how life is, which is totally fine. I'm halfway a neutral friend and halfway the innovator. Then there's the friend that's the follower. The friend that's a follower has these aspirations, have these dreams, have these things that they want to do, but they don't necessarily know how to do it. And they are not a neutral. They're not like, oh, I don't really care, blah, blah, blah. No, they have ambition. They just don't know how to funnel it into what they want. So when it comes to destiny swapping, in my theory, that hoe just want to be like me. The person that is trying to get to where they want to be, they will use the friend that's the innovator to get to what they want. Friendship advice from a millennial with no friends: destiny swapping.
I am back with another spooky story. This is the 4th story I'm telling today. So this is a story that somebody submitted to me that was told to her by her mother when she was young. So her mother lived in a farm in a rural area called Seventh Fountain. Her mother had 5 brothers and 4 sisters. The youngest sister was Julia. When her mother was 20 years old, Julia was about 14. She described Julia to be a very clever kid and very adorable. And she was loved by almost everyone on that little farm. There were also other houses around it, and everybody just loved her. But when it came to going to school, it was walk, no transportation. Julia now had a friend. We're gonna call the friend Ona. They were about the same age. She used to come over to the house, play, and do homework with Julia. A couple years later now, Julia is 17 years old. She's in the 11th grade doing great at school, thriving. Now, the place where the mother's family lived, Seventh Fountain, first of all, the name sounds creepy, but the place itself was very spooky, as they would see ghosts or other paranormal activities going on around them. They were not allowed to play outside past 16 o'clock. I don't understand military time, and I don't feel like doing math right now, so you figure it out. But past 16 o'clock, everyone should be home. Julia and her friend Ona grew up very close. But her mom's grandma didn't like Ona. She didn't like her. It was rumored that her grandmother was into witchcraft, so she didn't like Julia hanging out alone with Ona at all, or even going to her house. Then one day after school, her mom decided to sweep the yard outside, when she notices Ona and Julia passing the house. They're not really paying attention, so she yells out to Julia, "Julia, where you going?" Julia looked back and answered that she is going to Ona's house to help her with homework. And the mom says, "But you always do homework here, at home." Now, the mom didn't want to say flat out in front of Ona that she didn't want her going to her house, so she proceeded on letting Julia and Ona go over to their house. Now, it's about 19:30, and Julia is still not home. I don't know when 19:30 is, but I'm assuming it's late, because that's 3 hours after the 16 o'clock curfew. So now Julia's not home, and Julia's mother already told everybody in the house that Julia went to Ona's house. The grandmother hearing this is like, what? I already told her that she couldn't go over there to the house. So I'm finna get up and I'm about to go get her because it's been 3.5 hours past curfew. And as the grandmother stood up ready to storm up over there, here comes Julia walking through the door. So the grandmother's like, Julia, didn't I tell you never to go into their house? Julia's like, I'm sorry, Granny, but Ona really needed my help. The grandmother's like, I don't want you in the house, Julia. I mean it. And Julia promised her that she would never go over there again. Now, a few weeks pass, and her mother starts to notice a few little weird things with Julia. Like, she noticed that Julia is eating a lot, but she's not gaining any weight. Her skin is getting very gray, and black rings around her eyes. And she got really quiet. She's not talking to anybody. And the family even starts to notice she has no interest in going to school, and she just basically went mute. She's behaving really strangely, and lately she eats samp with beans. Julia hates samp with beans. And that's when her father and Granny suspected, yes, something is off. The Julia we know would never eat this. So they took her to a traditional healer, and that's when it was revealed that Julia had been bewitched by Ona's grandmother. The traditional healer herself is not powerful enough to reverse whatever the grandmother did. However, she knows someone who is. So Julia's father is pissed off at this point. He wants to confront the witch, but he was advised not to. They go back home, and now Julia is like a zombie. She's not speaking, and her mom telling her the story is saying like all she's doing is giggling here and there. And she starts speaking a foreign language when nobody's paying attention. Everybody had enough and just went to bed at this point. And two uncles, well, the mother's two brothers, were in charge of watching Julia overnight. Well, the next day when the whole family woke up, Julia is gone. Like, she is missing. Julia is nowhere to be found. She just vanished. Now, fast forward a year comes, Julia still is not back. June holidays, her mother goes to feed the chickens, and as she's walking towards the chicken house, she saw a figure lurking inside, and there was a funny smell coming out of it. So she stops, and she can hear the chickens in there going absolutely insane. Calls her brother, who was just a few distance away, and she said, bro, I think there's something inside the chicken house. Her brother goes to investigate. Then boom, comes out Julia. And at this point, she looked like a monster. They both are startled. They scream and ran towards the house, and they told the family. And the other big brother came out to go see for himself, and by the time he got there, Julia, yet again, was gone. A year passed, no word from Julia. But when her mother's parents went to go see another traditional healer, they were told that the reason why Julia was bewitched was because Ona was jealous of Julia and her accomplishments, jealous of her beauty, and all the boys liked her. She wanted her brains and beauty and made her grandmother make that happen for her. Julia was never found. She never came back, and our grandmother made sure of that. So I guess this is what people means by swapping destinies. Wow, this one was really sad, actually. My heart really got sad telling this one. Thank you guys for submitting this story. Wow, my heart broke listening to that one. Make sure you do all the things. Follow me on Instagram just so that I know that it's real. Duh. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. We are so close. I have to tell y'all literally in every video. Subscribe to my YouTube and follow me on Instagram. I love you, my abducted humans. I will see you guys in the very next video from your favorite Haitian homegirl.